But yeah, the subject is praying for boldness. Now, it's super normal and common for us to be fearful or nervous when it comes to talking to strangers or groups of people. And I read that I heard that it was the number one fear among most people. Some people fear it even more than death, is actually talking to a group of people, like public speaking. And we're not exactly doing public speaking, it's just one-on-one, but it still can cause a lot of nervousness. So that's what the tip is pray for boldness. And we know it's God's will that we boldly preach the gospel. So at 1 John 5, verses 14 and 15 says, "And this is the confidence that we have in him, that if we ask anything according to his will, he heareth us." So he's going to hear us. If you pray for boldness, he's going to hear you. And if we know that he hears us, whatsoever we ask, we know that we have the petitions that we desired of him. Now, another thing that would be a good thing to do in this area is to ask other people to pray for us to have boldness. So, I'll go ahead and ask you right now, please, if you have a prayer list, put me on it, because I need boldness, and I'll put you guys on the list. But Ephesians 6:18 through 20 says, "Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints, and for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak." So Paul, when I think of someone who's probably one of the boldest soul winners ever, I would think of Paul, and he's asking the church and believers to pray for him to be able to speak boldly, because he was going through we don't really have much persecution here in America, but his life was on the line many times. And another thing is, if we're bold when we preach the gospel, others, like new soul winners or people never have done it before, they're going to see that, and it could cause them to be emboldened and to be preaching the gospel. And Philippians 1:14 gives us an example. It says, "Many of the brethren in the Lord, waxing confident by my bonds, were much more bold to speak the word without fear." So they were able to speak the word without fear because they saw what Paul was doing boldly and what he was going through. And I think this might be a good reason, one of the best reasons to be, when you first start soul winning, to be a silent partner. You're learning how to do it, and you're also seeing your soul winner actually being bold and preaching the gospel. And I'll give you this is what I've always done in the past, and it's helped me a lot. I can see it working almost instantly when I'll go to a door, or I'm about to go to a door, especially when I was first starting out. I'd be super nervous. Really nervous. And I would say, "God, I'm going to do this no matter what, so I need you to help me have boldness." And I swear, it seems like it helps every time. And I wanted to look for a passage in the Bible that would give kind of an example of this. And I got to Nehemiah. I thought about this story in Nehemiah chapter 2. And it says, "And it came to pass in the month Nisan, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king, that wine was before him, and I took up the wine and gave it unto the king. Now it had not been before time sad in his presence. Wherefore the king said unto me, Why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of the heart. He said, Then I was very sore afraid." Now what I've understood is that this was Nehemiah, and at that time you're supposed to act a certain way in front of the king, and if the king could punish you severely for stepping out of line. So it says he was very sore afraid, and he said unto the king, Let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad, when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire? Then the king said unto me, For what dost thou make request? And then it says, So I prayed to the God of heaven. I don't think he got on his knees in front of the king and started praying. I think he prayed inside of his heart. And one of the things he was probably praying for was boldness. He's asking not to be afraid. As he prayed to the God of heaven, and I said unto the king, If it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it. So that's really kind of all I have, but just stress the point that praying for boldness is super important. We don't want to walk out there and being afraid. And God actually there's scriptures in the Bible, like in Jeremiah, when God would actually threaten Jeremiah with punishment for being afraid of the people's faces. So we don't want to walk around being afraid while we're preaching the gospel.